take that step back. We are seeing the true quarterback that he really is, which he is not a very good quarterback.
Welcome to the Man Now, where we taking over. It's time to give you them facts. Won't miss a game or two, cause we here for you and we reporting all of them stats. We coming to you live to keep you updated. Broadcast across the country, we the fan favorites. Break the volume to the max and don't nobody touch it. We crossing topics off the list, addressing every subject. So if you ain't got a clue, then you can tune in and give it 24 hours and we back again. Breaking news, we the top dogs. From the fields to the courts, we report it all. Buzzer beaters through your speakers, we the ones to call. Trust us for the news if it's got a ball. Giving you the top stories cause we love the turf. Tell a friend to tune in and where you heard it first. Yeah, you're listening to the Man Now. We taking over, it's time to give you them stats. Yeah, you listen to the Man Now. Miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them facts. Yeah, you listen to the Man Now. We taking over, it's time to give you them facts. Turn the speakers up a little loud. Miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them stats. Because you listen to the Man Now.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckeister here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com and check out the merchandise page. And of course, check out the blog section as well. If you guys are going to miss any part of the show whatsoever, be sure to find us on iTunes, Spotify, and of course, iHeartRadio as well. You can also find us on Big X Sports Radio every Monday through Friday from 3 to 5 p.m. if you are here in the Louisville, Jeffersonville, Indiana area. So if you guys know here, we are trying some new things out. So if you are a $9.99 member, you can check out the behind the scenes footage during the show here. So when we go to break and whatnot, you guys will get a chance to see what is actually going on between the breaks, and we get the chance to talk to each other. It is going to be a great time. So, but on the mainstream here, guys, if there's any types of malfunction or something, let us know in the chat and we will address that as soon as we can, because like this is the first time we're doing that. This is a hard raw dog test run. But before we get too carried away, well, let me welcome the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Brandon BC Combs. Combsy, what is going on tonight, brother? What's going on?
What is going on, Buck? Man, it's good to be back. It's good to see your ugly mug again. I mean, it's just good to see you, man.
Yeah, it is great to see you. I got a chance to watch the show last night. Very great show as always. And Wyatt held down the fort while I was gone. Let's welcome Wyatt to the show as he is picking his nose and bring him on camera. Man, Wyatt, you are always great at picking your nose and getting you right on the roar start here. Wyatt, I'm glad you are here tonight as well. But guys, let's go ahead and jump right into the Sports Talk Arena here. So as you guys know here, Dak Prescott is, what is he? He is the leader of the show, or leader of the Dallas Cowboys. Let's just be flat out honest about it. Like, if Dak Prescott isn't there, the Cowboys don't tick, in my opinion. So, with that being said, he missed the Hall of Fame game with a quote a non-serious shoulder injury. But since that Hall of Fame game, the Dallas Cowboys have reached out to Major League Baseball teams in their area, i.e., the Texas Rangers, and about his shoulder injury. So, Combs, let me kick it to you first. We saw Dak Prescott throwing it very lightly today at training camp, but is it time to throw some red flags up? Like, hey, why isn't Dak Prescott actually throwing the ball? Because the season starts here in less than a month, and our leading quarterback hasn't thrown the ball for over a year, and he's lightly throwing it, and we're getting advice from the Texas Rangers of how to deal with his shoulder injury. Like, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so look, Dak Prescott is a quarterback that I said with the Dallas Cowboys coming back off of this injury. If they've got Dak Prescott, they are easily a playoff team, maybe even a Super Bowl contender. Without Dak Prescott, they are back to what they were last year, which is going to be a 5-12 or 4-13 type team. Dak Prescott is going to determine what the Cowboys 2021 season looks like. And I got to tell you, man, when teams start reaching out to other sports, asking them how they deal with certain injuries, it's never a good sign. It's never a good sign. Because I can almost guarantee that what they're doing is they're talking to them and be like, hey, how do you deal with guys who have to deal with Tommy John surgery? How do you deal with guys who have to do this? What are you looking at? Can he play through this? Can he not play through this? What are blah, blah, blah. It's not a good sign that they're asking the Texas Rangers what's going on with his with him over there in Dallas. Why?
Yeah, no. First off, let me correct you there, Combs, okay? Yes, they are a playoff contender. But we're talking about the Dallas Cowboys, okay? There is no such thing as Super Bowl contender in Dallas since the 90s, okay? Literally 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was, whenever the draft was in Dallas, David Akers, former kicker of the Philadelphia Eagles, got up on top of the stage and said, what? Dallas, the last time that you won a Super Bowl, none of these draft picks were even alive. It has been 28 years, something like that, since they've won a title or even been close. I mean, they've got, 2 playoff wins in the last 20 years. Playoff contenders, yes, with Dak. With Dak or without Dak, there is no such thing as Super Bowl contender in Dallas.
So tell me who the dominant teams are in the NFC. Who's so dominant that they are unbeatable in the NFC?
I'm going to shock you when I say this, but the Green Bay Packers, of course. Big shocker there. No, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I think. Times. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Rams. The Rams are a really good team. I don't even think the Cowboys are we talked about this, the other night. I don't even think the Cowboys are the best team in their division. I think that belongs to Washington. They might not be the second best team. I think in my opinion, they are, but it's a very close race for second place between them and the Giants, who are very much improved. And then, like I said the other night, we all can agree that Philly is the bottom team of that division. But I don't see the Cowboys making any kind of a Super Bowl push with or without Dak. First off, because to make a Super Bowl run, and we've seen this, time and time again, it is the hardest thing, in my opinion, in professional sports, championship-wise, to win, because everything has to be perfect. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers had a great offense and a great defense. If one link of that is missing, you're not winning a Super Bowl. It's just that simple. So when we look at the Dallas Cowboys, yes, they've got a great offense. It's definitely a Super Bowl caliber offense. But the defense, I don't know if the defense is a playoff caliber defense. Like, the offense is walking real steadily, right? And the defense is like dragging behind them. They're like pulling them the whole way because the defense lags so bad for them. Kind of like my Wi-Fi, it lags.
That defense picked it up in the second half of last year, though. I mean, they picked it up significantly in the second half of last year. I think they had a bad first half. I think they were stunned when they lost their guy. I think that they got stunned a couple times early on. In 2020, we've said it a few times now, 2020 was a different beast. There were a lot of players who weren't playing the same. They were getting used to, the COVID stuff. They were getting used to all of this different stuff. I just don't think that 2020 is something that you can throw out there as, well, look at what they did last year. Look at what they did last year was an aberration. Last year, playing without fans. Maybe motivation was lacking. They're playing, going through COVID protocols and not being able to do the things that they normally do on a game day or after a game or any of this other stuff. So maybe that's, caused a little bit of downplay. Maybe that's why certain people didn't play up to their capabilities last year, was because it was a different year. It was a different season. Things should be getting back to normal this year. And one of those things that should be getting back to normal is probably the Dallas Cowboys defense. And I'm telling you right now, the Dallas Cowboys, as long as Dak Prescott is healthy and can start the season, Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys are a playoff contender.
No, and I definitely agree with you that COVID has played a huge role in a lot of people having a weird year and stuff, but still, that Dallas defense has never been anything incredible for quite some time. And I really think that that's kind of been the struggle bus for this team. But I do agree with you. The offense is a playoff caliber. I would even go as far to say the offense is a Super Bowl caliber offense. It's that good. You've got an A quarterback in Dak Prescott, an A running back in Ezekiel Elliott. You've got an A offensive line there because Dallas has always got a good offensive line. You've got a B+, very solid wide receiver core. And then the tight end position is a solid C+, B-. So you've got some of the correct pieces. I just feel like there are so many pieces that are missing defensively, whether it's because of injuries. That's always been the story for the Dallas defense is, Sean Lee is hurt. Now that Sean Lee is gone, Leighton Vander Esch is taking over that spot. Leighton Vander Esch is the incredibly great linebacker who, when he's on the field, he's an absolute game changer, but he just can't stay healthy to stay on the field. And we've seen, certain sections of this defense really come alive. But ever since they've lost Byron Jones in that secondary. That was a huge loss. Heath isn't there anymore. Like I said, Leighton Vander Esch can't stay healthy.
They picked up Trayvon Diggs. They picked up they still got Wilson. They still got Kurtz. They still got Brown. This team is still really, really good. This defensive line is pretty good. The middle linebackers, I do like Jalen Smith. I do like Vander Esch a lot. But that, I think, might be the weakest part of their defense. I think that their secondary has improved. I like Trayvon Diggs. I like Donovan Wilson. DeMonte Kazee is another guy who can just, flat out play. So I don't subscribe to the notion that this team is going to be what they were at last year.
I'll give you Diggs. Diggs is a solid B corner. Everybody else, though, I don't see the promising potential in this Dallas defense. And the D-line especially there. Now, the linebacker core, like I said, when they're healthy, you've got Jalen Smith, you've got Leighton Vander Esch. They just got Micah Parsons, who, if you watch that preseason game, Micah Parsons looks incredible. Micah Parsons looks like he is the next big thing at the linebacker position. So I think that, when you look at the linebackers, they look good. But when you look at the secondary, I think other than Diggs, you mentioned Diggs. Diggs is he's a good corner and can play a little safety too. So he's all right. I give him a solid B rating. But everybody else on that secondary really struggled last year. They were always, behind the receivers. While they were running their routes, the defensive line wasn't putting a crazy amount of pressure on quarterbacks. That's honestly why Dallas had, why Dak Prescott had so many yards, because the defense was allowing so many points to where the other team's defense could just sit back and prevent the whole, second half and most of the first half too. So Dak Prescott could just go crazy. Not taking anything away from Dak, because when healthy, he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. I don't think anybody can argue that. He's an incredibly talented individual. But I think that the defense has too many holes for them to be a Super Bowl team.
If this offense is healthy and if Dak Prescott is healthy, this is a top offense in the NFC. This is a top offense in the NFL, possibly.
I think it's a top offense in the NFL, yeah.
If Zeke is back to form, Amari Cooper, if CeeDee Lamb plays to his capabilities, Gallup is still a very good slot receiver. Not to mention they still got the kid Cedric Wilson. I really like the way he's looking right now. Blake Jarwin at tight end is going to be I think he is going to be the next Rob Gronkowski. I like Blake Jarwin a lot. And their offensive, I'm telling
that's
you,
that's a big comparison. Jarwin.
Watch Blake Jarwin play.
I had him on my fantasy team, and he never put up my numbers like Gronk did when I had him.
Well, he was also contending last year for the tight end spot as well.
Yeah.
So this year is going to be his breakout
Dalton
year.
Schultz is the other tight end there, right?
Yeah, Dalton Schultz. Yep.
Dalton Schultz. Honestly, I think Dalton Schultz is the best tight end on the team, in my opinion.
No.
Jarwin's good, but Dalton Schultz beat him out for the job several weeks last year. So I liked what I saw from Schultz at times. But yeah, I think you're 100% correct. If this offense is completely healthy and they're playing at a great rate, Zeke comes back to form, Dak bounces back from injury, the wide receiver core plays as it should, and the offensive line can stay healthy, I don't think it's a stretch to say that this is the best offense in football. I don't think that is a stretch to say that. I think that they're absolutely capable of having that title. So, but once again, talking about the defense here, I think the defense is just what lags for them.
Yeah, I guess we'll see as Buck's been working feverishly over here. I heard some people say they couldn't hear us, so I know Buck's working feverishly, so we'll keep going. But the Dallas Cowboys, if you don't think that they're the best team in the NFC East, I want to put something on this, because they are by far the best team in the NFC East. You willing to put your hair up yet, Wyatt? You willing to put your hair up? Wyatt, I've got them winning this division by a minimum of 3 games.
No, I don't see that.
Are you ready to put your hair on the line?
I wouldn't put my hair on the line, but I would bet something. Sure.
Oh, we're definitely gonna make something happen. You might have to get that Mimi bet back up.
Yeah, sure. We'll do that, and let's say I've got a cheesehead sombrero over here to my right. Here's what we'll do. if the Dallas, so you're saying the Dallas Cowboys finished 3 games ahead of everybody else in the division?
A minimum, yes.
Minimum.
If
I'm saying no.
If Dak Prescott plays,
okay, yes. If Dak Prescott plays the full, sure, completely healthy, and he plays, sure. I've got a Aaron Rodgers jersey and a cheesehead sombrero that I will send you that you've got to wear for an episode if they finish anything less than 3 above every other team, and I'll wear the Mimi, makeup or whatever.
Is it an Aaron Rodgers Saints jersey?
No, it's not. It's a Aaron Rodgers Green Bay Packers jersey.
All right, guys. So, hey, first things first, guys. Thank you for carrying on the conversation. I was trying to get things worked so they can hear me, but they can't hear you guys. So we started a new stream called Cowboys 2, strictly just on the YouTube because I haven't been able to figure out how to link it yet. So I do see the comments coming in here on the YouTube page. We have a couple people watching, so shout out to those people. And welcome to hard. This is when Wyatt doesn't have Wi-Fi and Combs works till 8 o'clock at night. So this is live on Uncut Sports. So with that being said, guys, we are up against a break because so if you are a 999 member, you've been listening to the conversation the whole time. But we got to go to a quick break here. So shout out to Wayne G for doing this for us, and we'll be right back here, guys, on the Man Hour. All right. All right, guys, can you hear me still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Are we on break?
So we're on break on the YouTube page. So for some reason they can hear me, which it's kind of expected because it goes directly through my microphone and whatnot.
Right.
But for some reason they couldn't hear you two. So
yeah, because Nikki came in and showed me that my grandma texted her and said that she couldn't hear us.
Is there something to do with a setting on your?
It has to be something
mixer?
stupid. Like it. Yeah. Oh, no. It isn't the mixture. It has to be something stupid on the actual StreamYard. It's like itself. But I can tell you, going through OBS right now is a really really choppy show because I'm using about 80% of my computer right now, and of course Cindy is streaming TV inside as well. So I will get it hammered out by tomorrow, but for right now we're just gonna have to bear with it. We got a couple of people watching and whatnot. So
I'm checking out the video on the YouTube page, the commercial here. We've got Giannis and Tom Brady wearing Man Hour gear. I love it.
That is awesome. 100% Wayne G, huh?
After Tom, after Giannis won in the NBA Finals this year, him and Tom were together, and we were just like, "Hey guys, can you throw on?" Or no, they were just like, "Hey, we're here supporting Man Hour." That's exactly what happened.
Right.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it at least.
But yeah. So
he's got the Rock wearing it. That's
like this is how I envision it. Like we have like a 3 or 4 minute break, and we were able to talk and I guess just prep for like the next segment while people are seeing the commercial as they see here on the
I like
channel. So that's
how much longer till it comes back?
I don't have a timer, but you will hear the music cue in, and that's when you'll know we're about 5 seconds left.
Okay. Perfect.
So I will figure out how I can get. So how we stream from OBS into StreamYard is called a virtual camera.
You can hop up here if you want.
I'll talk to you guys later. We're getting ready to come back from the break soon. 1 second.
All right.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeister along with Brandon Combs and the Wyatt Williams. Guys, thank you for bearing with us as we're going through some technical difficulties. We're trying some new things. And I can tell you here on the YouTube page, judging by my stream at the bottom of the screen here, like I got a little bar, I'm using about 80% of my computer width right now. So it's going to be a little choppy on the YouTube page if you're watching this on the actual Cowboys Part 2. I believe, I named it Cowboys Show Part 2. So it is going to be a little choppy, and I know that. Just bear with us as much as you can, guys. But we are trying to give you more visual aspects of the show, and it just sometimes when you fly by the seat of your pants, stuff like this happens. Speaking of flying by the seat of your pants, guys. Here at the Man Hour, we have decided to give you guys a trip to Las Vegas. Me, myself, Combs, and Tori. Myself,
not all
Combs,
of you
Tori.
guys. Not all of you guys.
Me, myself,
calm down
and I. No. All of us.
I was like, Buck, are you paying for this?
Yeah, I mean, I might have to if Wyatt doesn't get out and hustle. But with that being said, we are giving away a trip to Vegas during 2022 NFL Draft Weekend out there in Las Vegas. So the Man Hour crew, we have all kind of said, hey guys, we want to go to the draft. We want to try to do a live show from the draft. So why not bring a special person from the Man Hour? So I know you guys are asking a question right now is how can I get how do I get a chance to win that deal, right? So first thing you got to do, guys, is simply head over to youtube.com/Man Hour and click on that join button. If you are a $5.99 member or higher, you will automatically get entered into the drawing Super Bowl Sunday, right, Combs, is when we decided to do that?
Yeah, Super Bowl Sunday. So we haven't worked out all the details yet, but Super Bowl Sunday, we plan on doing maybe a live stream or something like that for you guys to join us at halftime or something, and then we'll announce the winner then.
Yeah, it's just something crazy. But you guys will also get additional entries into every. So what we're going to do is when you are a $5.99 member or higher on YouTube, you automatically get entered into the drawing. You can get more entries by simply being active on the YouTube page. So as you guys know, we have a few games here on the YouTube page. Like we have the gambling thing, like we have the slot machine, and we have some bets and heist and all that stuff. You guys, whoever is a top 5 weekly point getter all week, you'll get additional entries into that. So if you are the highest point getter that particular week, you get 5 more entries. Number 2 gets 4, 3 gets 2, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You also get points for every time you share and like the live stream as well. So I get an alert every time it is liked or shared on YouTube and Facebook both. So every time I see your name pop up saying, hey, such and such shared this live stream, you get 5 extra entries into that as well. So basically, guys, in theory, if you can share this as many times as you want. I get every notification every time it is shared. That is 5 entries for every time you share it. So I mean, it is just like how we did it before. So the highest point getter in the comments during the week, you get 5 extra bonus points every time it is liked, shared. You get 5 more points, but you have to be a $5.99 member or higher here on the YouTube page. So Combs and Wyatt, did I make that kind of clear, or did I not explain it well? Are we good to go?
Sounds good to me.
I'll be completely honest with you. I stopped listening. I was watching the Cubs rain delay stuff in the background.
Also, on the flip side of that, guys, I have bought a lot of stuff of Man Hour gear. We got some thermal cups coming, some keychains, some T-shirts, some hoodies, and whatnot. So we will also be giving away a weekly prize starting here in September for the top point getter as well. So you get a chance to pick from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if you want a keychain, you say, hey Buck, I want a keychain, then bada bing, bada boom, you get a keychain. So
you guys need to start commenting, sharing, doing all you can, gaining all the points you can, because there's going to be a lot of swag coming your way, and possibly a trip to Vegas during the NFL draft. So, I mean,
the only thing you got to do is become a $5.99 member over there on youtube.com/Man Hour. So simply hit that join button, bada bing, bada boom. You are in there to win it.
And listen, I listen to ESPN radio, I listen to Fox radio, I listen to all sorts of sports radio. I don't hear anybody else giving away a draft package and a trip to Vegas for the draft. So
for free.
Yeah, this is anybody who gets this after from here on out. Anybody who does this, they're stealing from us. We need to copyright this. This is ours.
Exactly.
We are taking you guys to Vegas. One of you guys.
So let's go ahead and get back into the sports talk, guys. Here, speaking of ESPN, every year they put out what is a FPI chances. I don't know what FPI chances is, but basically it is your percentage to win your division, the Super Bowl, a playoff game, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So when ESPN has put out their FPI chances to win the Super Bowl, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs, my Kansas City Chiefs, come in at number 1 with a 19% chance to win the Super Bowl, and then the Bucks come in at number 2 at 15%. So I'm going to kick it to Mr. V. Wyatt Williams first at @ManOut_TWW. Wyatt, did ESPN FPI get this right? Do the Chiefs have the best chance to win the Super Bowl this year?
I mean, I wouldn't say that I would have given it to the Chiefs. I think I would have given it to Tampa Bay because they won Super Bowl and returned everyone. So that's the first time this has ever been done in Super Bowl era history. So in that sense, I kind of think that they could have gone with Tampa Bay. But at the same time, on the other hand, I mean, it's Kansas City. They've been in the Super Bowl the last 2 years. They've played in the AFC Championship the last 3 years. They've got, arguably the best quarterback right now. Not arguably, I'll just say it, the best quarterback in football right now in Patrick Mahomes. They've got an incredibly explosive offense and defense. So, I mean, are they wrong for choosing the Chiefs? No, I think that's a very safe option to go with. And, they didn't go with Tom Brady and Super Bowl champs, so that was them going off the grid. But I would have put the Buccaneers at this moment because, like I said, if you return everyone and you just won the Super Bowl, why would you not be able to do it again? Barring injuries, but those FPI things don't calculate in, extensive injuries. I mean, I'm sure they calculate in a little bit, but barring anything crazy, I don't think that Tampa Bay is not the Super Bowl favorite right now.
Combs, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think these are the two teams that are most likely to be back in the Super Bowl. I really do. I mean, we talked earlier about the Cowboys, and I'm not sure how much of the conversation you heard, Buck, while you were, trying to get everything going. But I mean, the NFC is not very stout. There's not very many teams that are dominant, as opposed to the AFC. No, the AFC is more. There's more teams in the AFC that are, could stop the Kansas City Chiefs from going to the Super Bowl. However, I think the Tampa Bay Bucks are probably the most likely to get back. So I don't agree with the percentage of the FPI. I usually don't agree with ESPN anyway, right. But it's one of those things where, anything can happen. Injuries can happen, guys underperforming can happen. And I feel like this is going to be a great season, especially in the AFC. But in the NFC, I think Tampa Bay is probably more likely than the Kansas City Chiefs are to get back to the Super Bowl.
So one thing that I want to address, Combs, that you said that the NFC isn't very stout. I think the NFC is very top heavy. Because if you look at the top 4 teams, like you had the Bucks, I would probably throw the Cardinals in there, the Cowboys, and the Detroit Lions. They are a very top heavy division. However, the NFC is at least 10 teams deep. But that's the biggest problem that the AFC has in general is that they're going to beat up on each other. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs, they might be the toughest division in football. You are looking at the Chargers. They are going to be. Heck, honestly, after watching the training camp and stuff, kind of grow the last month or two, the Chargers are my favorite in the AFC West over the Kansas City Chiefs. Go ahead.
Did you just talk about Super Bowl contenders?
Through the Detroit
Lions in there? Did you just throw the Detroit Lions in Super Bowl contenders?
I did not say they're Super Bowl contenders. I said they are a top 4 team in the NFC.
You are out of your freak. They're not even a top 4 team in their division, and there's only 4 teams in their division. Stop it. They're not a top 4 team in the NFC.
The Falcons, better than the Bears.
They're not for.
Did you say they're better than the Falcons, Packers, and Bears?
I meant the Vikings, not the Falcons. That was
I was very sad. I was like, it's not that hard to be better than the Falcons right now, but
actually, the Falcons are going to be pretty good this CEC season too. They may not be a playoff contending team, but they're going to be pretty good. I mean, let's just be flat out honest.
6 wins.
The Falcons, how many heartbreaking losses did they give away in the fourth quarter last year? I can count
how
at least
many
5.
heartbreaking losses have they given away in Atlanta pro sports history? Too many to count.
We are talking football, but like if you look at last year, if the Falcons win those, Combs, you and I sat here on the show and said the Falcons are the best 3-quarter team in the NFL. It's just they cannot complete the fourth quarter. If they were able to complete the fourth quarter last year, they were probably a conference championship team.
No.
Maybe? No.
What?
No.
What?
They might have been a 9-win team. I mean,
what?
They stopped. I think it was like the first 4 or 5 games they blew in the fourth quarter. But you give them 4 or 5 wins back, they've got what, 6? I mean,
like if you give them 4 or 5 wins that they gave away, that's a 9-win team, and they're in the playoffs.
That's not a 9-win. How many games did they win last year?
4, right? 3, 4? I can't remember.
Yeah, so they're an 8-win team, maybe a 9-win team, but last year in the NFC, the 9 wins, 8 wins didn't get you into the playoffs.
In the NFC, it did, because if
it did. Bears got in at 8-8.
Yeah. So think about this. Let's say the Falcons go.
But the Falcons beat the Bears, so they wouldn't have gotten in.
Let's say the Falcons go 9-7 last year, and they win all those games that they gave away in the fourth quarter. You know who is not in the playoffs, Combs? Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
What?
If the Falcons go 9-7 last year, if they win all the games that they gave away in the fourth quarter, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do not make the playoffs.
How? They won the division.
They don't, because the Bucs came back twice on them in the fourth quarter.
What?
What are you confused about?
I don't like the analogy. I think the analogy is stupid. If you think that the Falcons go to the playoffs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers don't, you're crazy.
I'm just saying that ESPN got it right.
You're just like Joey, man. You think Tebow's the MVP too?
Don't you put those words in my mouth, Ricky Bobby. Don't you ever do that again.
Wait. So you're okay with saying the Detroit Lions are a top 4 team in the NFC, because but you're not okay with saying the Tebow's an MVP?
I would say Tim Tebow winning MVP this year is more likely than the Detroit Lions being a Super Bowl contender. That's a fact.
I never said they were a Super Bowl contender. I said
they're a top 4 team. A top 4 team in the NFC is a Super Bowl contender.
Yes.
No, it is not. Because if you look at the NFC, there are only 2 teams that are really, truly Super Bowl contenders: the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys. The rest are make believe.
And the New Orleans Saints with Jameis Winston.
I can't do this. I cannot do this.
This is the same Jameis Winston that can't run through bags, Combs. Did you?
He doesn't have to run. He doesn't have to run through anything. He throws the football for a living.
Can't win. Both of you have Dallas. What?
Yes, Dallas is winning their division.
No.
Why?
So, did you hear last night when these yahoos? One said that the Giants are better than Dallas in the division, and the other one had Washington. But it's just nonsense.
Yeah. So let me address that, because I had some stats, because obviously I prepped for the show, and I had some stats for the first segment when I was vigorously trying to work out the system here. But the Dallas Cowboys have a 45% chance of winning the NFC the NFC East this season. Wyatt, you said the Giants were going to win the division, right?
No, Torrey said that.
Torrey said that.
Well, no, Torrey said that Washington was going to win the division, but he said that the Giants were better than Dallas too. Right.
Okay, so
he said Dallas was the 3rd team.
The Washington football team has a 20% chance of winning the division. The Giants have a 15% chance, and the Eagles have a 5% chance. So you are telling me that the Dallas Cowboys are going to just all of a sudden drop off the face of the earth just because? Come on. Let me ask you this.
Where are you seeing these championship odds at?
the ESPN FPI, the same thing we've been talking about all second segment here. So I'm going to give you a chance, Wyatt. Tell me why the Dallas Cowboys will not win the division. Give me that.
Well, the Washington football team has a better defense.
Okay. They have Chase
Much
Young,
better
one guy.
defense.
Congratulations. Okay, one guy. Yay.
And on top of everything, well, first off, we'll start with this. Dallas's defense is their weakest link, without a doubt. Like I said earlier, they are immeasurably horrible. It's bad. It's really bad. It was so bad that Dak Prescott had 5,000. Dak Prescott got hurt in week 5 last year, and still led the league in passing yards for the next 5 weeks because the defense had him playing from behind so badly that all he had was that he had 5,000. He was on pace to make 5,000 yards that season, wasn't it?
Okay, so it is time to poke a hole in argument number one. Did the Cowboys address their defense in the draft there, Mr. Wyatt Williams? Did they not draft Micah Parsons?
They addressed one position of 11.
And
yes.
Aren't people putting Micah Parsons up on this pedestal saying he's going to be the rookie of the year? He was a steal of the draft?
Oh, I agree with him. I think Micah Parsons is great.
So you are
that's
telling me
one linebacker.
That one position cannot change the whole culture of a defense? You are absolutely far-fetched with that.
It can't. Their secondary is a top 5 worst in the league. Other than Diggs, they don't have really anyone. It's horrible. It is so bad. You all cannot genuinely believe that their secondary is good. It's horrible. Their pass rush is trash. They were not getting to the quarterback whatsoever last year. The only strong suit of the defense is the linebacker core. Other than that, there's nothing there.
So when we talk about teams, Mr. Wyatt Williams, who is the first position that you normally talk about when you talk on a team? The quarterback position, right?
Yes.
What is the quarterback position on the defensive side of the ball?
The middle linebacker.
And who is the best middle linebacker in all of football right now as a rookie?
No, he's not the best in all of football. That's Bobby Wagner, but
that's false. Okay.
What? Micah Parsons is the best middle linebacker in all of football right now.
Yeah, hands down. So when you have the
best,
when you have the best quarterback, granted you are going to elevate your team. Look what Tom Brady did to the Bucs, right?
I
Holmes,
can't.
Did I not just poke an argument in every into Wyatt?
No, you did not.
I mean,
Micah Parsons is the best middle linebacker in the league, and that there is no argument hole poked in anything with that statement.
I've sat here listening for the last 5 minutes, and you had me until you said Micah Parsons was the best middle linebacker.
That right there did it. That did it. I could name you 10 better right now.
What I meant to say, Combs, is that Micah Parsons is the best rookie linebacker. That's what I meant to.
Well, that's because there was no linebackers really in this draft compared to some of the other ones we've had.
Was he still the best?
Well, yes, but...
Okay. So, argument number 2, Wyatt. Argument number 2, why won't the Cowboys win this division? Do you have anything else? Or is it
Washington is just an all-around better team. The only position hole they have to fill, I think, is quarterback. Okay. And I still think that Ryan Fitzpatrick is good enough to hold down the fort to get him to the playoffs.
They're not better at wide receiver. They're not better on the offensive line. They're not better defensively.
Their entire defense is much better than the Cowboys. Washington has a top 5 defense in the league.
Because of defensive line, that's it.
The defensive line is better than Dallas. I'll give you that.
At the tight end position, they're better. At the wide receiver position, I think they're an all-around better core.
Wait, what?
What?
Pause.
Yes.
Hang on. Let me clip this out. Let me end this. Let me click this. Mr. Wyatt Williams just said that. Damn it. Record. Mr. Wyatt Williams just said that the Washington football wide receiver core is better than the Dallas Cowboys receiver core. Combs, did you hear that?
Are you out of your damn mind?
Cowboys receiver core is too inconsistent, baby. Come on.
I will take the Dallas Cowboys backups over the Washington football team starters.
No, scary Terry McLaurin is great. They just added Curtis Samuel. That is a good wide receiver core that's always consistent and there every Sunday. Curtis Samuel was yes, he is.
But look, he's still not. He's not CeeDee Lamb. I mean, you're taking McLaurin, Samuel, and Humphreys. You're telling me is a better wide receiver core than Cooper, Lamb, and Gallup?
It's a more consistent one.
You're out of your mind.
How is it not more consistent? What? Look at the numbers. I'm telling you. Terry McLaurin is a more consistent receiver than Amari Cooper. CeeDee Lamb is not consistent either. Amari Cooper hasn't been consistent since he had that one blow-up year with the Raiders.
CeeDee Lamb
and it was not consistent. It was not a consistent season.
And he had 5 weeks with a starting quarterback, and then he had 9 weeks with 2 guys who couldn't freaking lead.
And he was better. Think about it this way:
to a damn shed.
He was better with Andy Dalton than he was with Dak Prescott. He was better with Andy Dalton than he was with Dak Prescott last year.
How many games did Andy Dalton play last year?
8?
Yeah, right. No, it was like 5, wasn't it? But
he played half and half pretty much.
No, Dak Prescott played 5 games.
That's 3 short of half.
Well, and then you have to realize,
and he had Ben DiNucci in there. He had Ben DiNucci in there for a couple of games. There were several quarterbacks that came in there.
Oh, Ben DiNucci. Oh, you got me. You're right. Oh, he had Ben DiNucci. He should have been.
He did. Ben DiNucci picks up those 3 games.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, with Ben DiNucci, they should have been Super Bowl bound. I don't know what I was thinking.
First, I like Ben DiNucci. I think
nobody likes Ben DiNucci except for James Madison.
My God,
where he came from. No, I'm telling you though.
CeeDee Lamb still had 74 catches for 935 yards last year with 2 guys who couldn't throw a freaking football to save their damn lives. Andy Dalton is not a good quarterback. I don't care what Buck says. Ben DiNucci is not a good quarterback.
I need the mute button. Andy Dalton's top 15 quarterback, Holmes. You know it. I know it. Wyatt knows it. Everybody knows it. If Andy Dalton gets a proper shot in Chicago, which he will, because Justin Fields is going to sit all year. If you want to have a successful season with Justin Fields in the years to come, Andy Dalton will be a top 15 quarterback, Holmes. Matter of fact, Andy Dalton has a better shot of winning the MVP than 75% of the league.
Than Tim Tebow?
Of the league. No, Tim Tebow's not winning. So when we start talking about MVP race about week 5, week 6, we're going to hear 5.
Andy Dalton's not even going to play one game for the Bears.
Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. We're going to hear Andy Dalton, and then we're going to hear Jacob Easton and Dak Prescott.
5 quarterbacks. There's going to be no wide receivers or running backs in the running.
You just said Jacob Eason.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yes, I saw
Andy
his
Dalton,
clip of the
Jacob Eason will be in the MVP race come week 5. Is that what you're saying?
What'd you say?
Week 5, Jacob Eason.
Hold on. Wait, Buck, do what you did before. Stop, start clip, do all this stuff because we need to clip this. Jacob Eason and Andy Dalton are going to be MVP candidates after week 5?
In week 5, 2 of those guys won't even be starting. Okay. Andy Dalton will not be starting, and Jacob Eason will not be starting week 5, unless if Carson Wentz continues
not
to get
playing
hurt.
One game for the Chicago Bears this year.
He'll play one. He's already projected to start week 1. They changed it again.
He will not start week 1. I promise you.
Okay, Wyatt. Stop. Both of you. Combs, you did it first with Justin Fields. Oh, he's projected to get 20 points week number 1, like in the middle of July. And then Wyatt's like, oh, Andy Dalton's expected to get like 15
preseason's starting now, so they're going to project him.
But yeah, they're going to. That's what these numbers are all off of.
In my league, this week, his projections went up from 17 points to 22 points. So that's projecting him even more to be the starter.
Andy Dalton?
No. Andy Dalton's a top 15 quarterback, guys. Just face it. Actually, right now, I'd put him above Carson Wentz. I mean, yes, Carson Wentz is injured for 5 to 12 weeks or whatever it is. That's a wide range. But Andy Dalton is better than Carson Wentz right now. So that puts Andy Dalton at number 14 and Carson Wentz at 15.
I can't even. Like, I don't have a response to that because there is no response to that.
Like, what am I supposed to say to this? 3 of your MVP candidates for week 5 will not even be starters come week 5. Like,
well, you are normally wrong, except for when you go win.
And you had 5 quarterbacks. There's going to be no running backs or wide receivers in the MVP race at that time. That's whenever the wide receivers and running backs own it.
Who do you think is going to be a wide receiver in MVP race?
Amari Cooper.
There could be a couple, not Amari Cooper. I mean, a Devontae Adams, a DeAndre Hopkins could be up there. Stephon Diggs, not CeeDee Lamb. At running back, it could be Derrick Henry. We could see. We could see. Okay, we could see Zeke if Zeke jumps back to his form. We could see Christian McCaffrey's been in the running before.
He's been in the running.
Alvin Kamara.
Yeah. No.
There's several running backs and wide receivers.
Micah Parsons.
Would take.
Yeah, don't forget about Micah Parsons. The defense. No.
Trayvon.
Amari Cooper will win an MVP before Andy Dalton or Jacob Eason do.
What did you say?
Amari Cooper will win an MVP before either of them do, and Amari Cooper won't ever win an MVP.
Interesting. So
Amari Cooper has a better chance, is what I'm saying.
I'm going to address some of the comments here. Combs, I think we have like 26 comments over here on the behind the scenes thing there. But I'm going to go over to the YouTube page here. Drew is in there along with Nana. Says, "What's up, guys? What's up? What's up to Nana and Drew as always, guys? Thank you. You guys are for supporting us here and going through these difficulties here." And Drew says, "Buck's in the closet again." Actually, I'm not in a closet. Wyatt, you've seen this. This is not a closet. It's my garage, like last time.
It is not a closet.
It's just better. I just need to paint it, and once I get my memorabilia all stepped up and whatnot. So go ahead, Combs.
Joey says Tim Tebow awards that Tebow gonna get this year: Super Bowl champ, Nickelodeon MVP, Most Improved Player, 2 Grammys and 10 ESPYs.
I love it. Go big or go home, he says, right? Go big or go home.
You forgot the 12 Oscars too.
Speaking of overrated, the Oscars are definitely overrated, 100%.
He also says that ESPN is not a reliable source and that they are going bankrupt in the next 4 years.
I agree with that. I think ESPN will go under. 4 years might be a stretch, but definitely.
They're owned by Disney. How are they going to go bankrupt?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to go bankrupt. Owned by Disney.
They are still a separate entity, but if you look at it, how many people have ESPN fired since the whole COVID thing? It's been like 10,000, like 10,000 people. Yeah, I mean, ESPN is a sinking ship right now. They are a duck on the pond. It all looks great on the surface, but underneath the water, their feet are moving 1 million miles a minute, and they don't know what to do next. Because basically, guys, YouTube is taking over the world. Like, look at the Pat show. More people are probably tuning into the Pat McAfee show than ESPN. Let's just be honest.
Actually, he got in trouble with several guests that he was having on from ESPN because ESPN got mad because he was getting more ratings than ESPN was.
Well, that's what happened.
ESPN got mad at some of their own hosts and stuff for going on the Pat McAfee show because of that.
All right, guys. So we are going to take our next break here. If you are watching us here on the behind-the-scenes footage, you get to hear us talking and banter during the break. But in the meantime, guys, stay tuned, sit back, relax. We'll be right back after this. Alrighty, gentlemen. Sorry.
Yeah, Pat McAfee, man. The reason why he's getting better ratings than ESPN is because he's not political.
Yeah,
he doesn't make it all.
He's a mental vacation, is what he calls himself.
Yeah.
Well,
it's just
and he's just himself. When you don't sign that major brand deal with Fox or ESPN, like you can say ass and piss and fuck this and fuck that and not have to worry about anything, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
But as I was saying, hopefully at some point I'll figure out this whole thing because.
Who will?
Yeah.
I keep looking at the YouTube feed. It seems like it's pretty choppy sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that's because I'm streaming from OBS and I just got my regular computer, not my actual streaming computer. So because I wasn't planning to stream from OBS, so
gotcha.
Right now, my computer's pulling about 50%, and it's just playing like the commercial. So. Once we start doing it, we're like at 80% pulling CPU usage and that's not good. So,
gotcha.
But we'll figure it out. Like we'll be good. All right. So coming up next, we have guess. Actually, we'll play some guess who.
Let's go.
So yeah.
I'm still undefeated. Just throwing it out there.
It ends tonight.
It is a new month, so records are 0-0. Season number 2 of Guess Who is coming up.
Are we doing retired players now too?
No. Well, Sure.
Okay. Still active.
But yeah, like we'll throw in retired, but I don't have any retired players. Just FYI.
Okay.
I didn't think about it.
All right.
But
it's gonna be a go one.
We will start throwing in some retired players.
Retired is going to be tough because if they played for multiple teams.
Yeah, well,
I think when we do retired players, we should
obvious.
just limit it to like each time we play. It should be, hey, this week we're doing baseball players.
Yeah.
This week, you know what I mean, as opposed to just all the sports.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're coming back. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Brandon Combs and the Wyatt Williams tonight. We have had an action-packed so far. We've talked a lot of football, a lot of top 15 players, aka Andy Dalton. But we are going to move into the next segment here, and this is the game we like to call Guess Who. So we flash back to fifth grade here, and I got 3 players on my mind, and we'll go through each one. And Combs and Wyatt, they'll simply ask yes or no questions to basically guess who I am thinking. It's pretty cut and dry. So we are actually entering in season number 2. Hands down, actually, Combs, you were undefeated during Guess Who, even though you played like 5 or 6 times. But man, Tori was dominating Wyatt every chance he could get, and it was kind of embarrassing. So
beating Wyatt's pretty easy though.
Right. It's I still hold the record of beating Wyatt in one show 7 times in like one question.
It was 15. 15 times in a whole show.
Yeah, but it was 7 times literally Combs in one question. He was saying a story about something. He's like, "Oh, it was really funny." It was.
And you just kept muting him?
Yeah, we kind of felt bad for him actually because it was so easy. But Combs, since you were on vacation and you had a quite eventful vacation from the sounds of it, we will give you the option to go first or second in the first season or season number 2 of Guess Who.
Alrighty, I'll go second.
You go second. All right, Wyatt, you go first. Big guy.
Do they play in the NFC?
No, they do not.
Are they a football player?
No.
Do they play in the Western Conference?
No.
Are they a baseball player?
No.
All right. Were they a playoff team?
That's a great question. Come back to me later. No, I don't. I don't believe so.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with no.
So were they in the? So you said they were in the Eastern Conference already, right?
Yes.
Is that what we said? Were they in the? Oh God, I don't even know divisions. Were they in the Central Division?
Yes.
Are they a guard?
Are they a guard? Yes.
Ooh. Was it Zach LaVine?
No.
It's Lonzo Ball.
It is Lonzo Ball. Mr. Brandon Combs, your guys picked up a...
Oh, because he's a new... Oh, man, he played in the West... I wasn't even thinking about... All right, I'll give you that one.
Well, Combs, the reason why I bring up Ball here is because during the trade deadline in the 2020-2021 NBA season, you were really thinking, hey, the Bulls should make a play and get Ball. Why do you think they pulled the trigger now to bring him on, but not during the regular season? And any thoughts on that?
I think they didn't want to give up the pieces that they were asking for Lonzo Ball, so they just waited until Lonzo Ball was a free agent, and then gave him a max deal.
Yeah, and they gave him a big deal, like you said, like a max deal. Wyatt, do you think Lonzo Ball puts the Bulls in the playoff competition and, maybe compete with the Bucks and the Pacers and like all those guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think it puts them in the playoff contention, especially with the addition of DeMar DeRozan that they just had. That was huge. A nice veteran piece added. So the starting 5 now is going to look like It'll be Lonzo at the 1, I guess. Zach LaVine at the 2. So that'll mean Kobe White's going to be coming off the bench. That's going to be a really good 6th man. But the big one here is Lauri Markkanen wants out of town.
He'll be gone.
Yeah, so he wants out. That's a big loss for the Bulls. So that's honestly where, depending on what they move and who they get for Lauri Markkanen, which he's still a young player, so they could get potentially another young player in return or some picks. But yeah, I think they're definitely in playoff contention right now.
Well, with Markkanen wanting out, I think that was the idea behind bringing DeRozan in. I know Markkanen is listed as a power forward, but he was really a 3 on this team, and I think they brought in DeMar DeRozan to soften that blow on the however they have to do it to trade Lauri Markkanen.
All right, guys. So
moving on. Wait. Are we doing best out of 3 or best out of 5 in this one?
We are
just so I know ahead of time.
I just got 3 guys, so it's best out of 3.
All right.
Just best out of 3.
So,
Wyatt, you are officially 1-0 right now, so we'll give it to you first. You want to go first or second this time around?
I will go first on this one. Or actually, no, I'll tell you what. I'll go second on this one.
All right, Combs, yes or no answer.
Imagine that. You waffled on it. Are they a baseball player?
They are.
Oh, so you're going to send this to 3. Okay. All right. Appreciate that, Buck. Actually, no, I'm glad you did this now instead of the 1-1 tie having to be a baseball player, because then it would have been a guaranteed over. Do they play in the NL?
Do they play in the NL? No, they do not.
Do they play in the AL Central?
No. No Royals players today.
Do they play in the AL East?
They do.
Do they play for the Toronto Blue Jays?
No.
Do they play for the Boston Red Sox?
No.
Is it Anthony Rizzo?
Dude.
It is Anthony Rizzo.
Oh,
ding,
stop
ding,
it.
Ding, ding, ding.
That was literally where I was going with that. I knew it, too. I knew it.
The reason why I bring up Anthony Rizzo is because Combs, obviously the Cubs cleaned house. They cut at their whole starting roster like it seemed like almost.
I literally did not ask if he played for the Yankees because I knew if I asked that and you said yes, he was going to say Anthony Rizzo. So I was like, okay, let's try and throw him off here. I'm gonna go. Does he play for the Red Sox?
I started thinking Anthony
Rizzo. Me too.
I'm like, what players in the AL East had a story recently? And I remember, I know where you're going with this one.
Right.
So, Combs, let me ask you this question. Like, judging by your background there, you are a Cubs guy. Why? I believe you're wearing your Cubs hat too. Do you see Anthony Rizzo coming back to Chicago next year?
I do. I know the relationship between Jed Hoyer and Anthony Rizzo is kind of sour. They went back and forth in the media a little bit. Hoyer said something about he really wishes, he's surprised that he couldn't get something done with the big 3 that they traded, being Rizzo, Bryant, and Baez. And Rizzo came out and said, well, there's only one common denominator in all 3 of those negotiations, and that would be Jed. And so I do think that Rizzo comes back, though. I mean, this guy has been the leader of the Chicago Cubs team since he came back to Chicago in 2014, and he's just really been the face of this franchise. And I really think that he'll come back, and I believe maybe one other of their big 3 will come back, which I think probably would be Bryant over Baez.
Me too. I don't think it'll be Baez.
So, Combs, Wyatt, you think Rizzo's coming back to the Cubs?
Yeah, no, I could absolutely see it. Simply because, the saying, a big saying in life is it's not about how you started, it's about how you left, how you acted as you left. And if you look at the body language of and how everything went with Anthony Rizzo, I mean, he was out in the outfield taking pictures with the Ivy before he left with his family. So you can really tell that Chicago is near and dear to his heart, and he wants to be there and he loves it there. So for that, I definitely don't think that's out of the picture at all for Rizzo to return, and I think it'll happen. I think, and I agree with Combs. I think one more returns. I don't think it's Baez because Baez seems really happy with the Mets, and he's always wanted to play. He's always wanted to play with Lindor, but Bryant. I mean, and Bryant seems happy as well, but. The same thing as with Rizzo. Bryant literally cried whenever he got the call that he had been traded. If you guys have seen that clip, he's standing in the dugout, he starts crying, and he hugs one of the Cubs assistants. So and it was a tough video for me to watch. I'm not even gonna lie to you, I teared up a little bit watching it. So, yeah, I think Bryant returns, and I think the Rizzo returns.
All right, so you guys heard it here first. You guys both think that Anthony Rizzo will be a Chicago Cub next season. So with that being said, we are tied at 1 apiece here, 1-1. Combs, you get the choice to go first or second this time around.
I'm gonna go second again.
All right, kick it to you, Mr. Wyatt Williams.
Is it Carson Wentz?
No, it's not.
Man, if I'd have won it,
straight players.
If I'd have won it on that,
Is it a football player?
It is a football player.
Do they play in the AFC?
Currently.
Oh God.
Is it Deshaun Watson?
Stop.
It is not Deshaun.
Okay, I was sorry to say. Because that's where I thought when he said that, my brain immediately went to Deshaun Watson.
I was trying to set it up, but it didn't.
Oh, okay. So they do play in the AFC currently. Yep. Do they play in the AFC East?
They do.
You love the East.
God.
AFC and NFC.
Is it Josh Allen?
It is Josh Allen.
Oh my God.
Mr.
$256
million man himself.
That's so stupid.
Undefeated.
You are
undefeated.
So, guys, Josh Allen signed a massive deal.
Gotta be kidding me right now.
Like Friday, 6 years, $256 million. I can't remember how much of it is guaranteed, but either way, it's $256 million that he could possibly earn. With that being said, guys, what does this do to players like Baker Mayfield and Lamar Jackson that are due up for their contracts next year, and we just keep the quarterbacks getting paid higher and higher and higher? Wyatt, do you see Lamar Jackson? Let's talk about Lamar Jackson. Do you see Lamar Jackson making more than $236 million?
No, not quite that much. I mean, unless he does something crazy this year, like he did a couple of years ago on the 13-3 year, the MVP. I think he'll make somewhere around the 200 mark. What?
Did he win a playoff game that particular year? I'm just asking for a friend.
God. Anyways, I see him making somewhere north of probably 170, 180, somewhere above that. I don't think he might hit the 200 mark, but I don't think he'll make as much as Josh Allen is now.
So basically what you're saying is Lamar Jackson's going to be a waitress somewhere making about $3.15 an hour. Got it. Combs, do you think Lamar Jackson is worth that Josh Allen money?
No, I mean, look, man. One of the things that I find crazy is that Josh Allen's about to make in 6 years what Tom Brady has made his entire career.
Right.
I think it's insane to think of it that way, but
it's different though. Tom Brady elected to be paid like that. Tom Brady chose the Patriot way and took the pay cuts over and over again.
No,
Tom Brady could have left New England and made.
Tom Brady chose the Tom Brady way.
Yeah, well,
and decided to win 7 titles instead.
Tom Brady could have at any point left and made triple what he made at any moment he could have.
Yeah,
but he chose the Tom Brady way to win Super Bowls.
I agree, and look, I think that. I definitely don't say that Lamar Jackson is worth, I wouldn't give Lamar Jackson this deal at all because I don't think Lamar Jackson's going to be able to stay healthy enough to see 6 years of a contract. I just don't. I'm not like Buck. I don't think he's trash. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think his style of play allows him to stay healthy enough to get through a 6-year contract.
I'm just putting it out there. He'd be great in semi-pro football. That rec league. Guys stay in. He'd be great at that.
I can't even with you right now.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick little break. On the other side of the break,
he would tear up Canada, though.
Canada. Oh, Canada. We're back, guys. Man hour. Oh, my computer keeps buffering. It's irritating as F.
Yeah, you keep on getting like real blurry.
That's what happens.
That could just be my Walmart Wi-Fi, but
no,
it's, fill up my cup.
It's definitely my computer. Why is it storming at your house, man? Because I'm seeing like lightning crazy over here in the distance.
No, I don't think so.
Gnarly over here.
Looks fine outside to me. I don't think it's been. I mean, I can't. I got AirPods in, so like I can't hear if it is or isn't.
Yeah. We've got tornado warnings going off. I keep seeing flashes of light out the windows through the basement.
Combs probably lose power.
That's why I told Buck before the show. I said we've got tornado warnings till 10 o'clock. So if I just disappear, just give me a buzz and I'll let you know whether or not I'm okay.
Let you know if we're alive or not.
All of a sudden, you just see something rip through my screen.
A door just comes flying by.
Knocks me out. Buck, did you freeze? Uh-oh. That's not good. We lost Buck.
We don't know when we go back, bro.
Yeah, well, it's running off his computer. Yeah, it's not on YouTube right now. Okay. So, I mean, we're still live on this one, though, so we can talk to whoever's on this one.
Yeah, so hey, members only. What's going on? We got one viewer here. Who is that? Comment your name, whoever that is. Is it Joey? I think so.
We're going to see a cow come by. Is that what it was in Twister? A cow. Yeah, we got cows.
Did you ever watch Back at the Barnyard with your kids? You remember that show?
Yeah.
With the cows and stuff? The funniest movie scene of all time is in that movie, and nobody remembers it until you watch it. You'll remember it once you watch it, but until then, you won't remember it. Have you ever seen it? You know what I'm talking about? Where it's like the old couple that live next to him. It's there. So there was the older couple that lived next to him, and like the wife was real crazy, and the husband was like a farmer and didn't care. Was always in his chair asleep. You know, your stereotypical farmer family, right?
Yeah.
So they're all sneaking by to go somewhere near the house, and the pig like looks in the window and makes eye contact with the mom or the wife of the family. She goes, "Randall, there's a cow outside," and he goes. He goes, "It's a cow farm. Gotta find cows outside." Like that. I will send you the clip. It is the funniest clip I've ever seen. I would put it up there with some clips from like Tommy Boy movies. Like it makes me laugh that hard. Like seriously, it is that funny.
That's hilarious.
You like Tommy Boy?
Dude, Tommy Boy was. Chris Farley was the funniest guy I've ever watched.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't get to watch him in person, but like I've watched I didn't get to watch any of his movies in theaters and stuff because he passed away. But I've definitely watched a lot of them. Computer died, gents. So is that it? Or are we just calling the show?
I don't know. I don't know, Buck. What do you say? We keep going with this or what? What else did we have? Let me look at the rundown here. We had Peyton Manning's speech. So I didn't get a chance to watch Peyton Manning's speech.
That. Dang it. I wanted to see that.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Buck, log back on here, man, on your phone or something and play that speech.
So what else do we have here? We got we just talked about Josh Allen. The Browns. We've seen the Browns got a lot better with OBJ on the field. Does OBJ have to have a great season to stay on the Browns roster moving forward?
No, I still think that, so yes, we did see them get better without OBJ last year, but at the end of the day, he's still a key asset to that team. Now, I do think that there comes a point where, they set him down and they're like, "Hey, dude, look, we've won without you, but we need you on this team. We need you mentally dialed in and focused. I think there is a point where they have that conversation with him. But no, I mean, I think any team benefits having OBJ on the team. He's an incredibly talented wide receiver who, yes, he made an incredible catch a long time ago, and a lot of people like to argue that's the only thing he's ever done. I personally don't agree with that. I think he's actually been a good wide receiver throughout his career so far. But yeah, I definitely think
the injury humbled him
a little bit. I think so. I think I can tell you now. Also, once again, I got hurt playing high school football. I did not get hurt playing NFL, so there's a big difference there. But I can tell you from experience, sitting on a sideline. Yeah, I can tell you from experience, sitting on a sideline and watching your team succeed. Not even just succeed, but just play without you is heartbreaking as is. So I can only imagine what his pain was like playing pro football. So yeah, I mean, I think that the injury absolutely played a part in humbling him, because it does great deals to you, mentally, to see the guys that you spend every day with go out there and play without you. It's huge. It hurts. It's tough to see. It's hard to watch. So yeah, I think that there was absolutely a part of Odell that, right now it's kind of like, hey, we got to chill this out a little bit. I want to be a part of this team. Baker's finally starting to hit strides. We talked about Lamar Jackson just a minute ago. We talked about Lamar Jackson going to go get his extension, but somebody that we didn't talk about was Baker Mayfield. I think Baker Mayfield deserves an extension here in a year. I'm telling you, I've said this all offseason. You guys know this. Baker Mayfield is an MVP candidate this year. He has every year gotten leaps and bounds better. And I don't know what it was. Last year, when they played Baltimore, something about his demeanor, something about the way he led his team, something about just his overall attitude showed me that Baker Mayfield is going to be a piece of the NFL until he decides to hang up the helmet. I really do think so, because he's made so many maturing strides just in that one game. I felt like I was watching a different quarterback after that. He was a better leader. He was a better player. He was a better quarterback all around. Everything he did for his team was better. Ever since they played Baltimore and Lamar Jackson had to exit with cramps. Of course, he had the Taco Bell cramps, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. He had to poop.
Right. Yeah. No. So, but yeah, I absolutely think that the injury could have humbled him to the point where we see a different Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, I think we've kind of already seen it. I've watched a lot of press conferences and stuff with him, and his demeanor, his attitude, his I don't want to say confidence, because you should always be very confident in yourself. But in a way, his confidence has all changed. It's all a different, he's different. It seems like on a, I guess I don't want to say spiritual level, but kind of spiritual at the same time. Like, he just seems like he is a different football player. He's a different person in the interviews than what he was just a couple of, months ago, years ago, I would even say.
And I think it humbled him too. I think he's going to have a good season here with Baker. I think that he's finally coming to the realization that he isn't the guy that's going to get 125 looks a season. And I think that's what he needs to come to grips with, is that he's not going to be the number one guy. And I think that the Cleveland Browns are on a trajectory.
All right. So we lost Buck and Combs in this one. So you guys get to stare at me only now. I don't know what just happened, but Combs just got sucked away. Maybe the storm got to him. Maybe we should call him up here. Let's just check on him real quick. See if he's good. We'll text him, say, BC, you good? Did the storm get to you? There, texted him, making sure BC's okay. Now I've got to go into the rundown and see what we're doing. But yeah, kind of continuing what we were saying about Baker. Yeah, I think he's had a lot of leaps and bounds. I think this is an MVP caliber year for him. Many of the things he's done has showed us that. As we've got Joey Glotzbeck here saying, Wyatt, talk about Braun. What do you want me to talk about, Joey? You comment what you want me to talk about for him, and I will talk about it. But yeah, we were supposed to talk about the Peyton Manning speech. Hopefully Buck is able to make it back for that. Because I was wanting to talk about that. Peyton Manning, was a guy who, especially because I'm from Indiana, so I'm in an area where he was really huge. I mean, he's an icon here. Like if you watched the video that the Colts put out about him after his Hall of Fame speech, they talked about how kids were named Peyton. It's 100% true. Kids were named Peyton. Dogs. There were roads that were named after him. I mean, he's an icon. He made Indianapolis essentially what it is to this day. So yeah, I think Peyton Manning was a huge icon. And I wish. And Brandon Combs texts and says, "Power just flickered and shut everything down." So BC is good. We've got the okay from him. But let's see. We'll as my computer just. What is going on with StreamYard tonight? My computer just flashed and stuff. But anyways, we're back for a second. Quarterback battles will be the norm for the preseason 2021. Does quarterback play matter more from the Pats or the Bears? Who starts for both? So basically just asking here. Okay, so talking about the Pats quarterback situation, of course, it's going to be a battle between Cam Newton, as well as we're going to see Mac Jones finally step out of that Alabama uniform for what seemed like he was there for decades. He's finally going to come out and he's going to play for the New England Patriots. And it brings a lot of interesting questions really for this preseason of who's going to play when. Will we see Mac Jones the entire preseason, or will we see Cam Newton? If Mac Jones plays well enough this preseason, will he be the starter for them? As BC just texted me, he said he is coming back in just a second. As Buck is joining us too.
Hey.
Old Buck's back. Both you guys just completely deserted me there. But yeah, I think, it's going to be a really interesting situation with where we're talking about the Patriots and Jets quarterback situation for this upcoming year. And basically what I was saying was, if it comes down to it, I do think if Mac Jones plays well enough in this preseason, he can earn that starting job. And then I think it's the same, honestly, for the Jets. I don't even think, or no, excuse me, it wasn't the Jets, it was the Bears. So as for that, I personally think, and I know, Buck, you'll probably disagree with me here, I personally think that Andy Dalton starts for the first 1, 2, 3 weeks. And then all of a sudden, he's going to be the backup to Justin Fields. Justin Fields takes over just after that. Well, what do you think?
Yeah, so, first things first is let's not get this twisted at all one way or the other. I do not think that Justin Fields is a bad quarterback by any means. I think he is NFL ready right now. I think if he was on 15 other teams, he would probably be the starter, hands down. I don't have any question in my mind about that. But when you have a veteran quarterback like Andy Dalton, all jokes aside, guys, whether you want to admit it or not, Andy Dalton has been a good quarterback when he was with Cincinnati. How many times were they 8-8, 9-7, or I think the worst record I saw Andy Dalton was like a 6-10 season in his tenure with the Cincinnati Bengals. At the time, Cincinnati Bengals were a staple of mediocre team because of the ownership and the coaching that they had. Marvin Lewis was the coach probably 80% of the years that Andy was there, right? And
yeah,
Marvin
Lewis honestly, I think Marvin was there until Andy. Once Andy left, Marvin was then fired. I think he was there the entire time.
Right. Well, but either way, Marvin Lewis was just happy of just doing enough so he wouldn't get fired. He is like that guy working at White Castle down the street when he shows up 5 to 6 minutes late every day, but he works just hard enough to say, well, he's still a good worker and he shows up like just every day. That was the definition of Marvin Lewis, hands down. He did just enough to not get fired, basically what it came down to. And it's just it is crazy to me that just because now if the Chicago Bears did not do what they did with Mitchell Trubisky and just flat out F up his career, right, F up his future, etc., hands down, I would see Justin Fields starting week 1. There'd be no question in my mind, no doubt about it, 100%. But the Chicago Bears have learned from their mistakes with Mr. Trubisky, and I think Justin Fields will sit at least 12 to 13 weeks this season, just depending on like how well the Bears are doing. Now, if the Bears are Combs, when is the Bears bye week? Week 7, week 6, right? They have an early one, right?
I believe it's week 8.
No, okay. So let's say the Bears are a 500 team going into the bye week. They do not sit Andy Dalton. If they are 3-5, 2-6, then we'll see Justin Fields come in after the bye week.
Sorry, it's week 10.
Okay, so even better. If the Bears are below 500 going into the bye week, we'll see Justin Fields. If not,
there's no.
plays the whole year.
You see, if Justin Fields, and it's a big if, because I think Justin Fields is still starting week 1. Okay. If Justin Fields doesn't start week 1, you'll see Justin Fields. I would say no later than. I would say probably after week 3. I would say week 4 is when against Detroit.
If Andy Dalton is the if Andy Dalton is the starter for week 1, they're going to at least let him play week 2 against Cincinnati for sure.
Yeah, and then I think I think they'll be 0-3. I think they'll lose to LA. I think they'll lose to Cincy. I think they'll lose to Cleveland, and then Justin Fields will come out at home against Detroit, and he'll start that game.
So Combs, let me ask you this question, just because we are saying that Andy Dalton just isn't going to do well, and like that's why Justin Fields will come in. Let's say the Bears are, because I think the general consensus out there is that Justin Fields will start after the bye week, much like what Miami did with like Tua. Although you think he start week 3. So let's take your week 3 into play here. Let's say Andy Dalton is 3-0 going into week 4. Week 4 they played the Lions, right? If I'm not mistaken. But let's say he is 3-0 going into that Detroit game, averaging 260, two touchdowns a game. Do you take him out?
Yeah. I mean, look,
yes.
I think you have to see what Justin Fields has. There is no, for me personally, I think that Justin Fields is out can perform Andy Dalton in the preseason, which is why I think he comes in week 1.
I don't think Andy Dalton plays. If
for whatever reason Andy Dalton comes out and he's the starter, I don't think that unless he goes 3-0 in the first 3 weeks and they're playing like crazy out of their mind football, that's the only way Justin Fields doesn't start against Detroit and Chicago.
Let me ask you this question.
Here it's this. Go ahead, Buck.
Hang on one. Let me ask you this question, Combs. What is crazy out of your mind football as a Chicago Bears fan?
3-0,
3 wins.
25, 30 points a game.
Okay. 3 wins.
So let's say they are 3-0. They're scoring 32 points a game, but they're also giving up 27 points a game. Can you legitimately throw Justin Fields in there?
Yeah, why not?
Because we're playing lights out ball. We're 3-0.
If you're 3-0 and you're scoring 32 points a game, then yeah, I'm pretty sure that Andy Dalton would stay the starter because for 2 reasons. 1, he's playing well. They're scoring 32 points a game. 2, Matt Nagy's trying to save his job. So he can save his job and he can rest on his laurels if Andy Dalton is performing well, and then he could say, "Well, Andy was performing well, so that's why we waited with Justin. We're staying true to the course." However, I just don't think that that's going to be the case. I really don't. Right now, as we speak, right now, before any preseason games are played, Justin Fields is a better quarterback than Andy Dalton.
I agree with that. Wyatt, what are your thoughts?
So, this is the exact same situation we saw in Miami last year. I'm telling you guys 100%.
It's not, though.
It is the exact same.
No, it's not.
The Bears have a whiteboard in their coach's office that has what week that Justin Fields will be starting.
Do you know why it's not the same? Why? Do you know why it's not the same? It's not, though, because Ryan Fitzpatrick was the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins prior to that. Ryan Fitzpatrick had built a rapport with the team prior to that. Andy Dalton's been on the Bears for 60 seconds. He hasn't even played a snap.
He played for the Bucs the season before. He wasn't. Yeah. He wasn't on the Dolphins.
Fitzpatrick was on the Dolphins the season before.
No, he wasn't. He was on the Bucs. That was the year that Brady came in. The year before Brady came in. Yeah, he left. He exited as Brady
Winston
came in.
Was on the Bucs.
You are right. And then Winston got
hurt.
Yes,
and Fitzpatrick was as well.
Fitzpatrick threw like 400 yards, or he threw like four games with like 400 plus yards.
Because remember, he had the chest hair out with the. He wore Deshaun Jackson's shirt.
Okay, yeah. You're right. And then, okay, so to that point, then sure, maybe that is the same. But do you see Andy Dalton performing like you saw Ryan Fitzpatrick performing last year? Ryan Fitzpatrick had them at what, 5-1?
I don't think it matters. Like I said, I don't think it matters. I think that there is a week written on a whiteboard in the front office for the Bears somewhere. I don't know where it is, but it has on that whiteboard what week Justin Fields will be starting, and it doesn't matter if they're undefeated. It doesn't matter if they haven't won a game, or if Andy Dalton has gone 500 during that time. It doesn't matter. That week will be when Justin Fields comes in, and if Justin Fields plays terrible and Andy Dalton was undefeated before that, then sure, give Andy Dalton will take the job back, I think. But honestly, that kind of relays a weird situation, because I think that right there is exactly what happened to the Dolphins, because then you can't really take the guy out and put him back in, but you do, and it's like a weird switch-off situation. And I think the Bears are kind of getting themselves close to that situation right now, because
Justin Fields' psyche cannot handle being benched.
I don't think that's true. He handled it at Georgia.
Well, he left Georgia because he didn't want to compete for a starting job. Let's just be honest about it.
No, he left Georgia because Ohio State was like, "Hey, man, you're sitting on the bench. We need a quarterback next year. Hey, why don't you come on up to Columbus? Let's win some games."
Did you hear what Justin Fields' answer was to a columnist when they asked him, what are your thoughts about either starting week 1 or starting in week, say you come in the middle of the season? And his answer to that was, I'm just trying to be the best quarterback I can be. Greatness wasn't born overnight. I think there's a lot of pressure for me to play right away, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
Do you know who we learned that from? The veteran quarterback, Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's teaching him how to be professional. That is the most politically correct answer that you will ever hear in your life. How is that not a politically correct answer?
It is, but it's not coming from Andy Dalton.
Justin Fields is a natural-born winner. That is how he answers questions. Justin Fields answers questions the way that winners and great quarterbacks and great leaders answer questions. That's what that was. That was not political correctness.
I'm going to give you a preview of like next week. There's going to be a Lamar Jackson cutoff right there. Trash. That's exactly what you just came out of your mouth, White. That is complete trash. I mean, Combs, you have said it many times that you want your quarterback to say, "I'm the man. Put the ball in my hands. I'm going to win you games." And you give me this freaking passive aggressive answer.
You can't. Buck, stop.
This is a totally different situation.
You can't tell. First of all, Buck, listen to yourself right now, and then stop and just listen to yourself. You're saying, I want my quarterback to have I'm the guy, I'm the man, I'm going to come out here and I'm going to win. But we can't start on week 1 because he might hurt his feelings and break his confidence.
Exactly.
So
me as a coach, I cannot start him week 1 because he is such a soft, because think about this. If you throw out, well, whatever happens type of quarterback and he gets his ass kicked, it's like, well, whatever happens. You are going to lose a locker room faster than you can say Ryan Fitzpatrick. You are going to...
It actually kind of, compared to other names, Ryan Fitzpatrick actually kind of takes a while. Fitzpatrick's a pretty big name.
Well, but still, especially when I start stuttering like Ryan, so I just call him
I'm just messing with you.
No, but if you put a passive quarterback like Justin Fields in there, because let's just be honest, what he said was a very passive statement. It was like, well, whatever happens, happens. Yeah. And and he plays week 1, gets his ass throttled. We are going to be screaming, let's put Nick Foles in there. Why didn't we start Andy Dalton? And the little boy's psyche is going to be, well, whatever happens, happens. If I get benched, I get benched because I'm a little baby back bitch, right? That's exactly what's going to happen. And Mitchell Trubisky 2.0 is going to be all over you.
You're out of your mind.
I'm not out of
Stop
my mind.
it.
Justin Fields and Mitch Trubisky in the same sentence is laughable, first of all.
Okay.
Andy Dalton, yeah, I'm telling you, he is going to have to play superb to be the starter come week 1. He's not. Come on. Hi. If he was a top 15 quarterback, why didn't the Dallas Cowboys win that crappy division last year?
Because he got hurt. We literally thought he got killed.
He didn't get hurt. He got murdered.
and if you want to flash back to that game, right, when he literally got murked on the field, like I thought he was dead. I thought I just saw a murder happen. I need to go execute myself on the jury. But you saw 0 teammates helping him up. That team had no confidence in Andy Dalton whatsoever. I mean, we saw it that it is just like, hey, whatever, man. Like, he's dead. Cool, that's awesome. Like, there was no confidence in Andy Dalton. I think the Bears have confidence in Andy Dalton.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm very interested in. Is it this Saturday? Yeah, it's this Saturday. In watching this first preseason game, because I really want to see how Justin Fields performs and how Andy Dalton performs. I really want to see.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I really want to see the competition and if this is driving Andy Dalton, because you'll be able to see it in preseason. If Andy Dalton's going out there with the first string, and he's getting outplayed by Justin Fields playing with the second string, there is no way that Matt Nagy, going into his make-or-break year, is going to go with the guy who's not the better choice. And because he'll lose his locker room quick.
Yeah, you are 100% correct on that. But also on the flip side of that, come that first offensive series, we are going to see if it's an actual quarterback competition. Let's say Andy Dalton is out there and he is very just passive and kind of just like, hey, here's some check down plays, yada yada yada, and he plays one series. We already know who the starter is going to be, and they're grooming Justin Fields for the future moving forward. But now, if Andy Dalton comes out there and they're throwing 15-yard slants and pushing the ball down the field and making it look like an actual game, right? Then we know it's an open quarterback competition.
Yeah, I think that you're going to see more Justin Fields than you're going to see Andy Dalton week 1.
Right, 100%.
Because they definitely want to see what Justin Fields has.
I agree.
But I agree, I don't know if I agree with you that if Andy Dalton only plays one series, that I think that you're not going to know who the starting quarterback is of the Chicago Bears until week 3 or 4 of the preseason.
You are correct, but what I'm saying is we will see if it's an open quarterback competition by the play selection. So if that first series, whoever the quarterback is, whether it be Justin Fields or Andy Dalton, which I think is probably going to be Andy Dalton, if it's a very just we're going to run our bread and butter plays, we know that Andy Dalton will be quarterback week 1. But if it's an actual, hey, let's try some stuff, let's push the ball down the field, etc., then we're going to know it's an open quarterback competition, and we are seeing them battle it out. That's what I'm saying. Let me go ahead and bring this comment up by Drew. Drew says, Combs, are you forgetting who the coach and GM are? Dalton is going to start. So Combs did not forget Ryan Pace's name. He actually goes to bed every night. Damn you, Ryan Pace. But with that being said, I'm on the exact opposite. Drew, are you forgetting who their coach and GM are? Justin Fields will probably start.
Now, well, see, that's the thing is that their future with the Chicago Bears rests on how Justin Fields does. And if they're going into the season and Andy Dalton isn't he has to be the odds-on better quarterback in the preseason in order to start week 1, because 1, Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace's jobs depend on it. And 2, like I said, if you don't start the better option week 1, you're going to lose your locker room. It's the quickest way to lose your locker room, to not start the better quarterback starting in week 1. What is going on over there?
Why is he shitting himself?
What?
That's what it sounds like.
Oh, it's my couch. My couch makes that noise if you move on it.
Stop moving. Anyway.
I didn't mean to.
So no, if you go week 1 and you go in and you're starting Andy Dalton, even though everybody and their mother knows that Justin Fields is the better option, and they could clearly see it on the field all preseason long, he loses his locker room instantly, and he might not even make it through the entire season as a head coach of the Chicago Bears. So let me ask
you this: you are saying that Ryan Pace and coach's name
Virginia McCaskey
right now. What's the coach's name?
Virginia McCaskey.
Shut the fuck up, Wyatt. It's not fucking Virginia McCaskey.
God, she's the owner.
You said what's her name?
I said what's the coach's name?
Matt Nagy.
So I'm just fucking quiet. But with that being said, Combs, if you are saying that Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy's future are relying on Justin Fields on how he performs, do you hide him for a year so you get a pass for a year?
No. Because if you go out this year and you go, I don't know, 3-14 or 4-13 with Andy Dalton, you're here in Chicago, your head will be on a stick outside of Soldier Field.
Wyatt, any thoughts on this?
I don't think
it doesn't matter what you think, Wyatt, because your couch is making too much noise.
So, guys, we are going to end the show night here, but Joey is chopping at the bits to call into the show. So, Joey
Combs, hold on. Before we call Joey, Combs, have you been to the Louisville Slugger Bat Museum? I see your shirt.
I have not. This was actually Michelle's brother went on vacation down in Tennessee, and on their way back, they stopped at the Louisville Slugger museum and grabbed this shirt.
Dude, you've got to come down. I'll take you there one day. It is so cool.
Yeah, that's what
I heard. You get to hold a bunch of I got to hold Chris Bryant's bat. Who else? I'm trying to think. Chris Bryant. There was Anthony Rizzo's is there, I think. I don't know. It's been a while since I've been there. It's probably I don't think they have them there anymore now because they switch the bats every season. But you get to hold former players' bats and stuff. It's dope. Game used bats too.
Yeah, sweet.
And you get to see the chunk of woods, the chunks of wood of which player picked out which chunk. They're all labeled. It's super dope. You should definitely come down and check it out.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to do that.
So speaking of super dope. Combsy, Nana sent me a thing where Derek Jeter's coming to speak at Louisville Slugger Stadium.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a nice guy. I like Derek Jeter. I've met him a couple times.
Sometime in November. So.
Really? Yeah, I used to go to this baseball dinner in Boston, and they would have they would always have. So I've sat down and talked with guys like Johnny Bench. Derek Jeter's been there. Rizzo was there once. So yeah, I've met a few of the guys at those dinners and gotten to talk. It's pretty cool when you get to sit down and talk to these guys. Jeter's a good guy.
All right, guys. So we got Joey on the line. Joey, what's happening?
Listen, this show has been a complete. I'm not gonna say that word. Too much language, but yeah, this show has so many mess ups.
Oh.
Combs almost got killed by a tornado.
Twice.
Twice, yeah.
And what else do I want to say?
But
hey, Joey, real quick.
Yeah.
Real quick. Hey, I saw your comment earlier, man. Congratulations on being able to call your first game here coming up. Good luck with that, man.
Oh, I didn't even see that, Joey. What happened?
What happened? What?
He's calling.
You commented.
Game.
You commented that said that you were going to be calling your first game soon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Against I don't know. What was it? I forgot what team it was, but yeah, I am.
Congratulations, man.
Yeah, here he is. Right here it says, "I got big news, y'all. I'm going to broadcast my first game soon."
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I forgot I commented that.
Definitely. Good luck with that.
Yeah, Wyatt, any pointers there for Mr. Joey?
Any pointers? God,
there's so many. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
No, the big, terrible. The biggest one I would give you, Joey. Of course, first off, do your research, know what you're talking about, know what team. Know what team you're calling it for. That's important. But the biggest piece of advice, I would say, just enjoy it, dude. It's the most fun I think I've ever had in my entire life. And you're going to call so many games that, like, they're going to go by in a flash. And, like, you're going to get to the 100 mark, and you're going to look back and be like, wow, I've called 100 games. I guess another thing, too, always look to better yourself each game. Find one flaw you have each broadcast and fix it in the next one.
Yeah.
It makes you better along the way. And other than all that, the biggest piece of advice I could give you is listen. There will be so many people around you who will give you incredible advice and people who will help you along the way. You just got to open your eyes and open your ears to be able to field it. That's the biggest piece of advice I can give you is that right there. Open your ears.
With the guy Bob Picozzi, right?
Yeah.
He gave us a whole book. I mean,
yeah.
Man Hour.
Yeah.
So.
And know where you want to go with it too, Joey. I mean,
Sure.
if you know that this is something you want to do moving forward, this is a passion that you have, and this is something you can see yourself doing, man. Take it as professionally as you can, and I mean, you'll get there, man. So you're still young. You got a lot of growth to do. So take it for what it is. Have fun with it, and enjoy it, man. Good luck for sure.
And also test stuff. Make sure stuff works. Don't do what Man Hour does and do hard tests and just expect stuff to work.
Hey, we're gonna test this stuff during the show tonight.
Yeah. So Joey, you mentioned we've had a lot of stuff go wrong. Yeah, because we are trying to better the product that we put out. We are trying to put a visually great show out there, and I think we have it set up. It's just I was not expecting it not to work the way I thought it to. So
yeah,
that was.
And another problem too is a lot of our stuff we can't
my
test it until it's live anyway because we don't know it's going to go wrong until it goes wrong.
Power's going out and got to be like,
yeah,
by the National Guard or something.
Yeah, well, mine actually was because I unplugged the 6-way. So I have an old house and it only has the 2-prong thing, so I had to have the 3-prong adjuster thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, the adapter. Yep.
Yeah, and it's super loose, much like Wyatt's mom. It's super loose and it just.
Oh wow! Wow!
Sorry. My bad.
Wow!
Did I say that live?
He said he's wow. Oh my God.
Oh, shots fired.
Mrs. Williams, if you are watching this, I apologize.
She is not watching. She is right here next to me.
Oh God. She's definitely not watching though because because Wyatt's using her phone.
Yeah.
For a hotspot. So
I am. That is true.
All right, well, I'm gonna head
it's right over there.
Thank y'all for the advice. I'm out.
Definitely, man. Have a good night.
Later, Joey.
No problem. Joey, if you need any help too, be sure you got my number. Text me or anything you need, bud.
All right, guys. So, as promised, guys, I do have the stupid. Of course, my internet's going to freeze. I have the Peyton Manning Hall of Fame speech. You guys want to hear it?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let me go ahead and pull this up for you.
Anyway, I just think it's pretty cool to say you're on the same team as Johnny Unitas and Slingin' Sammy Ball. I am honored to be a member of this elite class and a teammate of Drew's, Coach Floors, John, Calvin, Allen, and Charles. To be inducted on the same weekend with one of my favorite teammates of all time, Edgerrin James, is a thrill. Being reunited with Edgerrin, my old teammates, the great Marvin Harrison, Marshall Falk, our Colts architect, Bill Polian, our Colts leader, Tony Dungy, is really something special. And I'm proud to be on the same team again with John Elway and to join fellow Denver Bronco alums, Steve Atwater and John Lynch in this weekend's induction class. And there's room for more Colts and Broncos in here, I'm just saying. We have inherited the history of this sport, even helped create it, but our responsibility cannot stop there. If we simply relive history and don't ignite the future of the sport, then we're not doing football justice. Each of us has deep roots in this game. Football even helped us carve out a place to belong. In my youth in New Orleans and in Newman School, football carved out a place for my favorite quarterback, my hero, my role model, my dad, Archie Manning, to pass on something he loved to me. Dad, there's no one I would rather have or be more appropriate than you to welcome me to this stage. My dad enabled me to play balls with my brother Cooper and Eli, the two best brothers a guy could ask for. And it gave my mom plenty of reasons to both beef me up and patch me up. Talk about lucking out with the most loving mother who can also break down a cover 2 defense as well as any NFL quarterback. In college, at my beloved alma mater, the University of Tennessee, football gave me a platform to help me grow as a man and refine my skills. Entering the NFL, the game gave me a profession where I could measure myself against the very best and live camaraderie at its deepest level. I always thrived on being coached, and I learned from some of the very best coaches in the business, many of whom are here tonight. Sadly, we have lost two special coaches to me this year, the great Howard Mudd and my good friend Greg Knapp. May they both rest in peace. After my playing career, I hung a whistle around my neck, and I've coached my son's flag football team for the past 2 years. Now, I'm not sure I'm a very good coach, but hopefully that role will enable me to make a hands-on contribution to the future of our sport. Over the years, I've had the most unbelievable support from family, friends, fans, coaches, teammates, and support staffs. And I just can't say thank you enough to all of you that have come here tonight to help me celebrate. To Jim Irsay and the Indianapolis Colts organization, my gratitude is off the charts. You drafted me in 1998, and it was a joy and a privilege to represent the Horseshoe. And to Pat Bowlen, the Bowlen family, and the Denver Broncos organization, you took a chance on me at a crucial moment in my career, and I will never forget it. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. When I officially retired from football 5 years ago, whether in person, on a call, or in a handwritten letter, I said all the thank yous that we unfortunately don't have time to repeat tonight. But trust me, they are as heartfelt now as they were then. To my wife, Ashley, there are no right words to express how grateful I am for you. Thank you for your unstoppable love and support. And to our children, Marshall and Mosley, you came into the world at the exact time that I needed you most. The two of you have already given your mother and me a greater inheritance than we could ever leave you. If football has become my home, the people of the great states of Louisiana, Tennessee, Indiana, and Colorado have become my extended family. And as everyone knows, you can never really leave family behind. I never expected to stand on this stage tonight. If it weren't for those busts and the memories of forever loyal fans, tonight's details would blur and cheers would fade. However, our hearts will cradle the memories forever. Throughout our lives as players, coaches, staffs, and fans, we've become essential to the sports landscape. I don't know about you, but I'm not done with this game. I never will be. I'm committed to ensuring its future, and I hope you will join me in that commitment. As members of this honored class, we have a responsibility to make our game stronger, from the corner playground to the most celebrated stadiums. During the past few years, the game of football has been challenged by an explosion of sports and entertainment options, safety concerns, erupting social justice issues, and a worldwide pandemic. Displaced fans have taken on an entirely new meaning as our stadiums have been shut down and fans shut out. We certainly shouldn't walk away now. When we leave this stage tonight, it is no longer about us. It is about cultivating the game that has given so much to us. It's about nurturing football to live and thrive another day, another year, decade, and another generation. It's about guaranteeing that kids everywhere can learn, bond, grow, and have fun with every flag pulled, every tackle made, every pass thrown, every run, block, sack, and touchdown scored. The audience here tonight is made up of die-hard fans who feel football deep in your bones. Now, we may have ignited the fire, but you have fanned the flames. Inevitably, those flames will be whipped by the winds of change, but they don't need to smolder. The future of this game is ours to shape. We just need to take tomorrow on our shoulders as readily as we donned our pads before each game. Let this moment become a cherished memory. And then remember, a legacy is only worthwhile when there is a future to fuel. God bless you, and God bless football.
Talk about a great speech, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he kind of was going really fast too.
So,
like,
so the part that they didn't show how he started his speech is so it was a like he said, well, I only have 6 minutes here just because Ray Lewis, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2010, and his speech is still going on. So when like Tom Brady gives like his speech, he would just have enough time to basically put an Instagram post and a TikTok video, and he's in. So like it was really funny. But guys, on that note, that's it for tonight. We will
Hold on, I want to bring up that comment up here. We're not missing this. This one from Trey. Trey
what
says
are some good things to say under Wyatt's skin when I'm beating. Yeah, but I think that this one here is a better one. Because Wyatt still has not accepted the challenge.
I have accepted the challenge. I don't have Wi-Fi. I literally cannot.
You can come over to my house and play.
I don't have PlayStation Network. I really don't.
I have Madden.
He's got PlayStation Network.
You have
Get
PlayStation
on his
Network?
PlayStation Network.
Yes. What more excuses do you need, Wyatt?
No.
Hashtag waffle. Man, our nation rise up. We out.